Jim Carver, have you had surprises in the speech of Prime Minister of Ireland this week in plenary?
What surprised me most about the Taoiseach's speech was how open he was about his pro-European credentials and really his vision. I think what we're going to see increasingly after Brexit, I'm talking about our independence because the British people voted for independence. After we regain our independence from the European Union, we're going to actually have a big dilemma facing the Irish people, the Irish government, because obviously the close relationship, and with so much of Irish exports coming to the European Union, but actually when you break it down it's the United Kingdom, I think Ireland's got to think very, very carefully about the course she charts after we regain our independence.
What do you think? Is it an element of manipulation of the situation from the behalf of European Union? Because it looks like our Scottish and Irish elements in British, let's say, multi-ethnical, multinational state is on cards.
No, I think it's the European Union sort of really just trying to make the negotiations as complicated as possible, unnecessarily so. If we talk about the Good Friday Agreement, of course, the European Union isn't a guarantor of that agreement. Yes, of course, they were involved in certain aspects, but the guarantors are the Northern Irish political parties and the London and Dublin government. So, it very much is of course for the European Union. I think actually to look at the situation of the Irish border very separately. And speaking personally, my wife is an Irish citizen. I have family who live 3 miles from the Irish border, so I very much, on a personal basis, without my political hat and head on, I very much understand the concerns. But I don't think there's any politician across the British Isles, or indeed across the European Union, calling for a hard border. No one wants a hard border. That's very straightforward. And quite frankly, we've had arrangements with the Irish government, even the Irish Free State. The first Common Travel Area was signed in 1923. And if Taoiseach de Valera can sign an agreement with Prime Minister Churchill during the Second World War to open the Donegal corridor where British planes were bombers and were allowed to take off through this corridor of land in County Donegal in the Irish Republic to protect our merchantmen in the ocean, I don't see why we can't come up with a serious arrangement agreement again.
Do you still believe that there can be a Brexit deal? Because at the moment it doesn't look very optimistic to us, to general public.
I don't. I go back to what I said, and I'm sure I've said it to you before. I don't think there will be a deal. I think with the theatre of this place here, it's very clear. I think the vote's going to take place just before shortly before the next European elections. The MEPs in this chamber are going to be pushed. They all want to come back, and we will hear about the gravy train on someone who's voted myself out of a job here by voting for Brexit. But it's very clear. People are very comfortable here. They like it. They're going to be posturing to their electorates and trying to send them a message. And I don't think there will be a deal. I think when you get to the stage where the British government say, look, enough is enough, and we have to look to the future. And I think the future then it's a broad, big wide world out there, and I think the world's our oyster.
Do you think that no deal will give you much more freedom to exercise the other projects and free trade deals with the other nations?
It will. It certainly will, and this is, of course, why we have to be outside the single market, because if we remain in the single market, of course, that does very much limit our ability on trade deals, that sort of thing, and of course regulation. So I very much take the view that the WTO option is the best option, and of course, I'm going to be a bit cheeky here. I actually think the European Commission are playing their cards very close to their chest here, because what a lot of people in that chamber don't appreciate is that if we take the WTO option, under WTO rules, any export tariff, any import tariffs that an independent United Kingdom has to pay to member states in the European Union when our goods are exported to them, what you'll find is that 80% of that tariff payable under WTO rules can't be kept by that member state government. It has to be passed by that member state government to the European Commission. That's WTO rules say that. Now they're not talking about that. So I would concede it's actually in the Commission's interest to have a no deal.